Welcome back to episode 45 of my Let's Play Modded Minecraft series, Season 2. In this episode, I think we're going to be doing a few things. Well, let's see what we're going to do. Inside, I was just checking a look, just to make a break from the magic system for an episode, which is still going on fine. But down here I had these packages, and to be honest, they're a lot slower than I expected. I've got one piece of septuple compressed cobblestone, and lots of the other types of compressed. Good for getting into the deep dark, not so good for building a wither box. So I kind of figured I'd bypass it, as one of my commenters suggested, and our comments are always welcome. Ooh, ender seeds. Comments are always welcome. They recommended I go for the reinforced obsidian, which is the other way of building a witherproof box, at least without magic stuff, which I've not got to just yet. Reinforced obsidian, here it is. So it looks like it's easy to make, apart from the fact that it's dark steel and dark iron instead of iron and well, iron and iron bars. And dark steel, this dark iron bars is just more dark steel, so it's all very predictable. Dark steel, however, takes obsidian, coal powder, and iron. So, given the stage that we're at right now, that should not be a problem at all. So, I think I've already pulverized some coal. Yeah, I have. So let's just get about, well, 4 stacks. This should be fine. Obsidian. And, as you can see, I've made some before while I was doing some testing. 4 stacks of that, and then iron, which, yeah, we've got more than enough of that. 101,000 iron. And I'm just going to put this in the alloy smelter, one of each, and it will just make up our reinforced obsidian. Now, while that's cooking up, a couple of things I have looked into. Some people have been saying that the audio is a little bit quiet. I've looked into it. If I increase the audio anymore, because I'm in quite a noisy room, I have to have a noise gate, a hardware noise gate, that is, not the software, a horrible kind, to stop you hearing huge amounts of fans from my computer, which is about a foot away from the microphone or 2 feet away from the microphone. So I can't increase the volume anymore without distorting the microphone, and that's, you'll definitely hear that, and that will be much worse. So yeah, I don't want to increase the volume too much at the moment. Sorry, but you may have to turn up the volume on YouTube accordingly. Do let me know if it is actually really too quiet. I mean, I've kind of pushing the limits of what gain I can get out of this SM7V microphone. If I push it anymore, it's going to distort, I think. So sorry, I can't really do much about that one. You should be cooking up right now. I should have some more of it coming, reinforced. I don't need all that much. Oh, that's going to make dark steel. Yeah, I need to make the actual recipe first. So yeah, here we go. So we just make the iron bars recipe that you're used to. And let's get some of that. We want dark steel in the corners. And then iron bars around the center. And with obsidian in the middle. There we go. So however many of those I can get, another 12. That should do what I'm looking for, I think. Yeah, let's go and see if that fills the actual room I'm looking for. I've got some more in here. Yeah, so let's say a full stack. And I've marked out an area back where I fought the wither when I originally killed it. I should mention, by the way, why I'm actually doing this in this episode. I went to go and do my reactors up in the void world, and there was a bit of an issue. I looked up ludicrite. I can't remember if this is always the recipe, but ludicrite is needs a nether star and block of emeralds per block. So, in fact, yeah, it can't have been the recipe. It must have been something else originally. There's an alternate recipe with plutonium and enderium blocks, but I just want to be able to make this one as well. I think this was the recipe I used originally with the enderium blocks. This one, however, I want to be able to have nether stars. I also want to be able to create an alternate source of power with a nether star generator. And again, they need nether stars, as well as feeding them nether stars. So yeah, I'm going to need to create that one. An unstable ingot block. Yeah, because that isn't dangerous at all. Hopefully that's actually stable and isn't going to actually blow up. Well, if any of you know whether that's going to blow up or not, yeah, we'll see. So mark out what you're going to actually do. And with a box, typically, you may have seen these before, if you're not already aware. You're going to need 1 deep by 3 wide. And this is the interior dimensions. And your interior dimensions, you also want this to be 4 tall. If you make it 3 tall, the wither's going to stick out through the roof, and then he's going to get out. And you're going to have a bad day, or a longer day than you would otherwise do. So in the front of that, we want to just put a row down, and we're going to kill by looking in through a hole here. So we want that hole. There we go. On the other side, you actually want another wall. And you want a hole 1 further up, because you're going to have to place the heads on the back. So interior dimensions are now 3, so we need to go up 1 more. Interior dimensions are 4, and then we can roof it. Now, what I normally try on this, and it never really works, because is to roof it like this. So I use up less of the whatever I'm using to build the box out of. Unfortunately, what tends to happen here is that when the wither actually blows up, it blows all these marble blocks off, or away from the main area. Let me just show you that. In fact, let's get everything built. Yeah. Because we're really, if you look on it from the inside, everything is actually reinforced obsidian, but the gaps around the outside of the, well, not the gaps, but the seams, if you like, is where it tends to go a bit wrong. It doesn't actually cause any problem. The wither still dies and still stays in the box. You just have to keep setting it up every time. So I think what I'll do is I'll replace all this marble after demonstrating the problem, and then, yeah, that's pretty much complete. After demonstrating the problem, and then maybe if any of you guys have a better wither box, feel free to let me know. Give me a comment, whatever you think on that. Obviously, we do want to automate that at some point. I'm not going to need that much soul sand with skulls, and I've got lots of those because I made a farm for them. Definitely going to need that many either. Yeah, so if you have any better way of automating it with this pack, feel free to let me know. I have looked at the DW20 video that automates it. That involves moving frames and all kinds of crazy stuff. Could do it that way, but it's quite a hefty build. It's a couple of episodes, at least, to build something that large, I think. So we'll see on that one. It is more computer craft though, so if you guys don't like computer craft, that's a bit of a problem. Anyway, let's just put a couple of steps up, and that should do. So, incoming wither, 1, 2, 3, and run for your life. Or in my case, just stop short. Anyway, this shouldn't get out, but it will probably blow some of this up. Let's see. Yep, there goes all the marble. But the wither is contained, and that's exactly what we wanted. So now we can just run up and kill the wither. So why not? And 1 wither. And of course you see the loot drop in, but if you have sigil of holding, if you're looking here, one of them is a sigil of magnetism. I forgot to mention I don't know if I've actually mentioned that. And that's pulled in the loot, including the nether star. So yeah, you could just kill 38 withers this way if you wanted to. I'm going to probably have to automate it at some point, but here's the problem with all the destruction around it. So you have all these blocks that get destroyed. Not so much the top corners. It tends to be these side ones. So I think I'm just going to replace all of those. I should have enough. Do I have enough with me? Let's spawn another one, see if it blows any more off. And yes, I'm very aware of an Italian job. Joke. But I'm just not going to say it, because no, I'm just not going to do it. Anyway, this thing doesn't have any doors. Let's just see what that changes. I'm going to put it on this side, but not on that side. And let's see if that blows up as well. So what change that does to it. There's our soul sand. 2, 3, the sun's setting, unfortunately. Should have enough time. 1, 2, 3. Thankfully, it's not blowing any of the floor up, although I need to check underneath because I've not put any reinforcement underneath either. So, yeah, let's see. What have you got for me? Yeah, it's blowing the top off as well. Pretty much, it won't do these blocks on the ends, it looks like. Everything else gets sacrificed, so let's get rid of you. Die, evil wither! And I definitely should think about a better way to... there's another one. A better way to kill those in a lot quicker time. Does it blow the bottom? No. Looks to be undamaged, it looks to be all directed up. So, yeah. We shall make sure that doesn't happen. And... back at base. Now, if I'm going to create a nether star generator, then, well... those unstable ingots are going to be a bit of an issue. We've made them before using the manual recipe. Ingots. That's the bottom one. And unfortunately, you can't actually do that using an automatic crafting like the AE system. Won't let you. I think many people have tried. It's been gradually patched out so that you can only use the normal crafting grid. However, if you want to spend a lot more, you can make the semi-stable nugget, combine those and get your unstable nugget, combine those and get your unstable ingot block. Assuming, of course, that that is stable. We're about to find out. Yeah. So a semi-stable nugget is a gold nugget, a division sigil activated, and diamonds. Lots and lots of diamonds. Okay, how many diamonds have we got? 8. I've got thousands in the ore form, but it's probably going to take most of these to do what I want to do. And nuggets. Yeah, nowhere near enough of those, so let's just say we get a fair amount of those. And is the division sigil in here? Hope so. Yeah, it is. There it is. Can you create these, I wonder, without... Oh, you can. You can. Good, 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 good. Let's get rid of all these. There we go. So, yeah, I think I'll have a lot of these. Thank you. And I'm out of something or other. Probably going to be the nuggets. So let's just see whether this is actually going to be stable, first of all. When I pull this out. Yeah, it says stable. Fine. Somewhat dangerous having lots of those. Okay, and then we combine those to make these. And that's not blowing up either. Great. But all of those that I made, and I ended up with 2. Now, what I actually want to make, I do want to make a nether star generator. But why do I just want to create the ×1 one? That's kind of boring, isn't it? If we're going to have a backup power source, kind of want it to react fast and kind of want a lot of power out of it. So we've got a ×8, which is 8 of them, plus one of these transfer nodes. And then a ×64, which is 8 of those, with some bedrockium. Yes, so this is going to be one of the unstable ingot blocks. That means the next one up is, that means there's 8 of those unstable ingot blocks, and this one again is 8 of those. So it's going to be 64. And I've got 2. This is going to take a little while. Yeah, I'll cut so this is not done on camera. Be right back. In fact, I've decided not to do that. Reason why is each one also requires another star, and I'm not automating the wither just yet. And of course, I don't really feel like going killing the wither 64 times. Although I suppose I could, well, I've got 4, so I just need to kill them 60 times, but that's still beside the point. So let's just create one of the 1 times, and I will, after I've automated the wither, then we'll come back and actually do the 64 times, which sounds like a decent idea. And why don't I have a furnace of any kind? That's really annoying. I really don't. Oh well. The cheapest recipes in the game. Yeah, let's get a furnace and another star generator. Hopefully now. There we go. So yeah, these things are really quite powerful, but do I have any capacitors? Yeah, I've got the 25 million RF, and I want some conduits. Let's move that. Yeah, that'll do. So let's go and test this thing out. Is it daytime? Yes, it is. Let's go and see just how dangerous these things are. I've got full on like 30 hearts, so this shouldn't be an issue, but if I insta die, you feel free to laugh your head off. 1 nether star generator and conduit. Feels somewhat like leading the the fuse away from a block of TNT, this, but okay. And then let's put the vibrant capacitor bank here. There we go. And that's 125 million RF. Let's just see what 1 nether star gets us. Ow. Ow, withering. Ow. Oh, what range has that thing got? Am I still in range? Hopefully not. What does the range go out to? How close to it? Oh, okay, so my capacitor's in range of the effect. Well, let's see if we can get the tooltip. I'm going to cut while that actually just finishes with the nether star. Yeah, be right back shortly. So that's now finished, and we got just under 50 million RF, which is pretty decent going. And that came in at around about 20k RF per tick, so it's broadly similar to one of our reactors, except obviously it's a fixed amount. And yeah, that's completely drained now. Its internal buffer's only 100,000, so that's fine. Let's get rid of you, and let's reclaim this stuff because we're going to reuse it. And it's going to be basically a backup battery, if you like, for our data center. That's kind of what we... I hate it when that happens. Where's the book gone? Come on, give me a book. There you are. Hate it when that happens. If someone knows why that happens, please let me know in the comments. Happens to be several times a season. So here at the back, I've got to build a platform which is very far away from the actual rest of the data center. Yep, there you see the rest of the data center. If I drop down, and you see I've got a conduit which is going to run it all the way into the back of the data center, and out here I can just build my nether star generator. Rather than building it underground, I want it right where I can see it. And then we can replace that later with, you know, whatever. On the inside, I probably want... In fact, do I want the battery on the inside? It's kind of visible if I do that. Maybe it's better to put it out here, actually. So let's just break this for a second. And let's put some of our batteries in place, our vibrant capacitors. So that's connected up. This should just act as a battery. We've got to be a bit careful about how this connects to the rest because it'll use it as the main power source otherwise. We've got to somehow only connect this thing up when the other one's out of power. I'll have a think about how I'm going to do that one. But signaling it to actually turn on is more a matter of, do I really need a battery? I've already got a battery, obviously, so... No, I'm being stupid. I don't need the battery. Yep, don't worry. I'm just being a derp. I've got a huge battery elsewhere. I just need to connect the power. Much simpler that way. And now I've got unstackable. Oh, great. Oh, well. Yeah. Where's my card? There it is. Right. So I just want to turn this thing on when I don't have power at the other side. So let's go and connect up the transmitter and the power monitor. That's what we're going to use, just like the main base. I need to hook up to here somewhere. Doesn't really matter where. I should do this computer craft at some point, but for now we can just connect using a power monitor. And I want to say emit when storage is less than 10%. Is it engine control? Not really, because there's no engines. And stop when it's greater than 95. I'll probably have to set this to something like a test value to get it to work. And then let's just get some insulated redstone. In fact, I may need the other kind. Kind that goes on walls. Red alloy wire. Will you do the job better? Probably. Let's just drop this down and see whether this does the job. So let's reverse this. Emit this when storage is less than 100%. It's 100%. Can I set this to anywhere else? Oh, in fact, I can just test this by connecting one of these. That should be emitting. Unless it needs to actually be hooked up to the side. No. You're not going to do it, are you? Where is my... Is this the only thing that will do it? Yeah, it looks that way. That looks like it's emitting a signal. Okay, let me play around with that, see if I can get it to work. Alright, this setting should work. And don't do what I was doing and use insulated redstone. That doesn't really help. Use the non-insulated kind. Just connect it up to your... I was just using a test one here because this is permanently full, pretty much. I've just got a test vibrant capacitor bank set to engine control on, and then emit signal when as soon as we drop below 100%. And because it's connected, it is using a little bit of power. So in this case, the signal gets output at the back with the redstone conduit, goes into a wireless transmitter on 1002, and then we can use that to then turn on the generator. Now I had a look up and I looked at these generators, and unfortunately they're not intelligent at all, really. So I can't control this with any kind of redstone signal. I'd like to, but I can't. And I also can't, it also won't shut down. If you drop any kind of fuel in there, well, nether stars, if you drop nether stars in there, it's just going to keep using them, and even when this buffer's full and anything it's attached to is full, it'll still keep using that nether star until it runs it out, basically. So what we're going to do is just drop a cable down from our ME system down there. And yeah, I could have done this in a better way, but it's quick. Just bring that up through. And then I'm going to put an export bus on here. Yeah, there we go. And say I want a redstone card. Set this to active with signal. And put a nether star as the config item. So as long as this gets a redstone signal, it should then actually start outputting nether stars. Now, just to test that, what we can do is, I wonder if it'll work directly from here with the receiver. We set this to 1002. It won't, well, if I had nether stars in the system, it should be outputting them right now, and thankfully I don't. I took my nether star, my single nether star out, but I can test this by just putting the Nether star in the system, it should disappear if everything's working. Yep, there it goes, and I can go and test this even more dangerously by approaching. Oh, in fact, it won't consume the next one because the buffer's full. Yeah, it is a tiny bit intelligent then. Yeah. So if I were to drain this, then I would start... it would start processing the next one. So what we're then going to do is, I think... yeah, I'm going to put a tesseract here. And I want to send that on... Helps if I know what frequency it is. My main input, really, back here is ludicrite power. So if I send... yeah, and just to make sure... In fact, no, that will be right. If I send on ludicrite power, it'll make its way to the main battery, so... Helps if I don't stop flying when I fall off. So if we choose ludicrite power and 6, that's going to send, which should start draining this, hopefully. Oh no, because it's full. Huh. Let's just... Do I have any capacitors left, I wonder? I probably don't. And this one is nearly full, so it won't last long enough. Yeah, I should craft some more. I'm not sure if I've got any available. If not, then we'll take it as given that it's actually working. Oh, there we go. Let's see if this will last long enough to drain, which is just a good test. So that now should... Whoops! Should be able to send power, assuming that everything else isn't... Sending non-reset. Oh, that's why. Yep, all the power's gone. So if I put the nether star in the system now, it should deplete and start using up. Let's see if this works. If so, we've got a working backup system. Yep, it's working. We've got a working backup system. I hate wither. I hate withering even. So all I now need to do is hook this up to the main capacitor and just get rid of you and get rid of you. And that's working. So if this ever drains, well, in fact, I should set this to realistic values without clicking on NEI. Less than, I don't know, 20%. It's a huge capacitor. And stop when it gets above, yeah, 80%. I don't have enough nether stars yet to be able to do that, but that's not so much of an issue. Nether stars, that was just a test thing. Nether stars will come in plenty once I've automated the wither killing, which is another episode to come up and look forward to. So, thanks very much for watching. I wanted to keep this episode, again, fairly short. I'm not trying not to ramble on too long. We killed the nether, we've got a wither box now, and we now need to start thinking about automating it. Not sure if that's going to be next episode. I might go back to magic, because there's some other things in magic that's worth looking at. I have switched this to easy mode Thaumcraft, just because the sheer amount of time it takes to solve those puzzles, when you've done them over and over and over in multiple series, it's just laborious without any kind of purpose at that point. It's not really a challenge, it's just going through the puzzles. So, yeah. There are certain areas I've not been to yet that I really want to get to, new types of armor, particularly as the blood magic armor I've got. When looking at the Botania stuff, the two are integrated, so it kind of negates the blood magic armor because it's aware of it. So I can't really, cheese that system by using the blood magic armor anymore. Anyway, so there's some alchemy stuff I need to get to, and then there's the more advanced Thaumcraft stuff, which is here and down. So runic shielding. I don't have Tutomen enough. Well, I don't have Tutomen yet, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that's down here. after runic shielding, if I remember rightly, and that's the kind of the power-up Thorncraft armor. So well worth us looking into as part of the series. So once again, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, leave comments, and share with other people. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, and as usual, feel free to leave me comments with lots of questions if you think I can do any better, particularly if you have an amazing wither design that uses this particular pack, because there's only a few limited ways of doing it. A lot of the old ways of doing wither killing don't quite work, or at least not as I've seen them anyway. So let me know any ideas, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.